at least 5 calories just from.
Ooh. Oh,
Hi.
take notes. You gotta take.
Hi, Brittany and Mia. I unmuted you.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Excited for this class.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everything's going to go okay.
You just gotta roll with the punches sometimes.
I know. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
We got David has his picture up. How you doing, Meevish?
How are you doing?
Good. So we had a few people eating earlier that showed up early. Wow, there's really a delay. Okay. Okay, Mia and Brittany, you guys are co-hosts.
I'm hoping everyone signs in with their first and last name, just so that we can take proper roll.
Yeah, I'll address that in a few moments.
Gotcha.
Do this.
Okay, so how many participants do we have? We have 32 out of 75.
David looks like he's having an incredible time in the corner over there.
Yeah, this is so crazy. It's just so new. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah. How do you feel about this, in fact?
It's just like the circumstances we were given, so I'm pretty okay with it. It's just like new. It's cool.
Yeah, it's starting to sink in how surreal this is. And
Exactly, yeah.
I can attest to that for sure. So let's see how this goes. I feel like we're all a part of history right now, especially.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, for sure. This is like pivotal and like how technology will like affect the classroom.
Oh my gosh, yes. What's your concentration?
I'm a management concentration.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. So you're going to be prepared if something like this were to ever happen.
Exactly. If this ever happens again, I'll be on it.
Yeah, it's what do you mean? This wasn't a test. We were the actual pilot for this.
Exactly. Yeah. In some ways some of the stuff was planned. So
Yeah, it's very interesting. Everyone's in their cough. I wonder if
It was planned 2 weeks ago. So we're getting quite a bit of feedback. I don't know how to stop that.
on our end, you sound perfectly fine, just so you know, if it's coming on your end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, I have a separate monitor set up. Maybe that's why.
gotcha.
Oh,
Oh,
I-
yeah, that's why. You have to mute your other one.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to turn that off.
I'm liking this so far, because I like the opportunity to drink coffee and have these conversations, and have the half part professional, the other half in sweatpants.
No, I'm wearing my shorts. All right, so it's 3:30. Welcome everybody to, what is this, Business 144 negotiations. So you guys kind of excited about that? Just shake your head yes. All right. Want to go over a little bit about, go over the syllabus. And I'm still getting really bad feedback. I don't know why. Okay, so as everybody's done the syllabus and everybody's read it, and I want to make sure that you guys understand it and have any questions, I'm gonna pause about every 10, 15 minutes, answer some questions. You guys on the bottom, you can raise your hand and ask a question. Brittany and Mia are gonna be my assistants, so they're gonna help me out too. And I'm getting really bad feedback. I don't know why. Okay. All right. So first of all, do we have any questions? So this is all new to everybody. So I'm sure we're going to have some technical problems throughout the year or throughout the quarter. And so we're going to be kind of lenient about that. All right. So let's get started with the syllabus. All right. So the first page basically just tells us about what's going on with the Zoom meeting, how we're going to access it, and that we're going to be doing live lectures. And in this class, we're going to be doing breakout. So what's going to happen is there's a little thing here that we can do a breakout on the bottom, and we're going to pair up into groups, and we're going to do practice negotiation type stuff. So the Zoom meeting will be just like real class. And the syllabus, the lectures, the quizzes and everything are going to be done on iLearn. Okay. And basically the purpose of this course is that you're going to learn how to do negotiation, which you've been doing pretty much all your life. Okay, I'm getting a really bad delay. It's like I'm talking over myself, so I apologize for that, for I keep pausing. Okay. Okay, so negotiation simulation, a series of negotiating exercises. We're going to do those in class. And we are going to, when we do the breakouts, myself, Brittany, and Mia, we are going to monitor you, go into your little classroom and see how you're doing and maybe give some feedback. Okay. Preparations for negotiation is absolutely essential to fully prepare for each negotiation exercise. You have to read the negotiation before. You have to do a little prep sheet, which I will show you, which has been posted. And then you're going to do the negotiations. Then afterwards, the next class, we're going to have post-analysis and negotiations. where we'll discuss what happened, how it happened, and what is going on for there. Okay, do we have any questions?
Isaac had a question. He was asking if he needs to have a mic or webcam, if it's necessary.
If we're gonna have a what?
Isaac was asking if it was necessary to have a webcam and mic.
No, it is not.
Well, how did,
Well, for when we do the Zoom breakouts, you're gonna definitely need to
text maybe?
maybe, how are we gonna do the breakout rooms?
Can you hear?
Okay, so when you do the negotiations, it's gonna be a verbal thing. Obviously, you want to see each other because there's, facial expressions that you're gonna want to read during your negotiations, but if you can't do that, that's something that's, we can't help doing it this way.
Mhm. I think the school is also letting students rent laptops if
For
they
free?
for free if they need it. So I would suggest you getting your hands on one of those so we can do the negotiations through Zoom.
And so that you get the full effect of the class.
Yes.
They are, and also if you're having problems with the internet, Spectrum, I think, is also giving free internet for 90 days for students.
Just a question. Where can we like rent the laptop? Because I tried to call them and they didn't answer. I went there and to the IT service and everything was closed. So do you guys have like some advice on that?
Hi, Leonardo. Thank you for the question. Actually, there was an email sent out recently in regards to filling out the form online. Have you had an opportunity to do that yet?
I haven't seen it, to be honest. I didn't. Who sent the email?
Okay, no worries. So what I'll do is I'll put together an email with that, and then what I can do is send it out to the whole class, just so that you all have access to it, and then you can go ahead and fill that out from there. I
Thank
know
you.
that, yeah, no problem. I know that everyone is really backed up when it comes to this whole process. So I'm pretty sure I could speak on behalf of Professor Weigel and a lot of.
Okay, I'm getting a really bad delay back on, so people are still talking. I apologize.
It's okay. Yeah, so you'll eventually get everything you need, and they're being very lenient when it comes to this whole transition. So we'll get that to you by the end of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're ready to continue? Okay, so we're expected to prepare for class, being present virtually in the classroom so we can break out. So negotiations, it's all about practicing. It's not something that it's going to be very difficult to do it this way, but we're going to try. And let's see. All right, assignments are due on the dates specified. Course readings, the syllabus. The book Getting to Yes, which is a very good book to kind of get you started in the theory and the psychology behind negotiations. I also posted some other things in iLearn. So please watch those. They're short little videos, and feel free to do your own exploration. Okay. Don't read ahead in the class, because what you want to do is you want to be prepared, but you don't want to know what's going on because you want to have it like a realistic negotiation. Okay. So attendance obviously is very important because we're trying to do a one-on-one negotiations. Planning documents will be on iLearn the week before the class negotiations. Okay. The memos. Okay, you're going to write up a few memos, and there's going to be negotiation or pre-negotiation planning and post-negotiation planning. You're going to write up your process. Okay, that's worth 20% of your grade. The first one's due May 6th. The second one's due May 30th. Okay, what I'm looking for in grading those, I put that down for my matrix. Okay, real world negotiations, I want you to do 2 of those. Okay, they can be something very simple, but one of them has to be planned, and I want you to do it in an atmosphere where negotiations are not normally done face to face. For example, a restaurant, which nobody can do right now, but something of that nature, like you would negotiate for a free dessert or something of that nature. Okay. And here is the specifications for the write-ups that I'm looking for and how I'm going to grade it. Okay, exams are 50% of your grade. We're going to have a midterm on April 27th, and then a second, we're going to have the final in class, which is Wednesday, May 6th. Okay, this is how I'm going to grade, or this is the distribution of the grading usually. Integrity statement, which is in every syllabus, so you guys should know that by heart. All right, course schedule. We're looking at, I want you to read Getting to Yes as soon as possible. That's kind of the basis for how you're going to negotiate, some of your skills that you're going to learn to negotiate. Okay, so I'm going to try and stick to this as close as possible. And I do reserve the right to change it. And depending on how technology works, things could go good, could go bad, the good, bad, the ugly. All right. Questions so far?
Actually, Professor, there was a question in regards to the syllabus memo.
Okay.
It says that it's due May 30th, and the course is scheduled to June 3rd. The syllabus also says the final is May 6th, but this course schedule says June 3rd. So did you want to maybe update the schedule on that or let everyone know what you're referring to?
I'm sorry. Yeah, June. Yeah, June 3rd. Okay, that's the last day of class.
Okay. Perfect. And then second memo.
Let me double check that. I think this is the accurate one right here for the course schedule. I will double check everything. I had to do 3 schedules or 3 courses, and I apologize. I may have been a little confused.
No worries, no worries.
All right. Okay, and then also we have an addendum. Okay, so we're going to give you 4 flex days because of technology and all the other million things that can go wrong with the way we're going to teach this quarter. So that this is posted in the syllabus, and we have basically you get 24-hour extension on turning in assignments. And go ahead, read through it. And if you have any questions, let me know, and we can address this as we need it. Okay, questions? Okay, any questions? Okay, did you guys pull down the Synertech assignment and downloaded it and looked at it and read it, right? Shake your head, yes. Okay, so Mia and Brittany, they did a kind of a mock negotiation that I'm going to play for you. And then we will talk about the actual, how we're going to do negotiations. All right, let's see. Okay, yes, lecture slides will be posted on iLearn. I'm trying not to use too many slides because most of it is your participation. Let's see here. Okay, so I do sound fine. It keeps looping. Yes, it is live on YouTube and it's recorded, so I will send you the link after that. I will post it on iLearn so you guys can review these sessions at any time. And okay, questions? Okay, we're gonna move on. You guys look too excited over there. We should have a contest who comes up with the most interesting drink, I think, or food items. What do you think? Yeah. All right. All right, so here's Mia, and we're gonna play. That's not playing, is it?
The video's not playing.
Maybe, did you put share screen?
Okay. So let's see why this is not playing. You guys couldn't see the video?
No.
No. Okay. And I'm getting horrible feedback. Let's do it again. Ah, here we go. Perfect.
There's no audio.
Can we hear everything?
No audio again.
Yeah, we can't
No
hear.
audio.
Put it on the,
Okay, so stop. Let's see, what am I doing here?
hashtag day one.
Yeah. Suppress person. Let's see. Echo cancellation. Maybe that'll work. Okay, share screen. Click on side by side mode. It's still not working, by the way. Okay, so why this is not working, I'm not sure. Okay. Well, we got Brittany's face up there anyway. And one. Okay, so. Okay, Brittany and Mia, do you know why this is not working? Your co-host, can you see anything?
we could see the video. We just can't hear the video. Mia's gonna try to pull it up on her laptop and see if we can stream it from our end.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, go to send. Let's go to send. And if that doesn't work, we can just
We'll do it
we
live.
can just do it live.
Okay, so sent.
Well, it's gonna be down here.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, so we oh. There we go. So Mia's gonna try to play it right now.
And the readings.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We'll share screen.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, it's not letting us do screen share.
Hmm.
Is there a way to give us access to sharing our screen as well?
I will give you full control.
Thank you.
Yay. Let's see.
Because as much as I like my face on that screen, I don't like it that much. Let's play the video. Okay.
I just gave you full control.
Okay, thank you. All right. Let's share screen and pull up the video. Nothing else.
Okay. Oh,
Is that it?
okay.
Sorry, we're working on it on our end as well.
Someone in the chat says the professor has to exit screen sharing first.
Gotcha.
I think I could stop his screen sharing and we'll pull this up.
All right, go ahead.
Can you guys see that?
Can you guys see this?
Yeah, let's see.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
The terms of the prompt.
Go backwards.
For example, the case we'll be going over today.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone, my name is Brittany Agoncilio. And my name is Mia. How's everyone doing today? In fact, thumbs up if you are ready to be a quarter closer to graduation. Woo! With everything transitioning online, our goal is to assist Professor Weigel and the class throughout this transition. In advance, we'd like to say we appreciate you all and we look forward to this quarter. Today, we're going to go over an example of a case study and what the professor is looking for when you all break off into your own breakout rooms to negotiate. So here's how it goes. The professor will give you a prompt with two negotiation perspectives. In this case, a seller and a buyer. You'll then break off into your rooms and use the worksheets provided on iLearn to reach an agreement based on the key negotiation principles learned in the lectures and the readings, along with the terms of the prompt. For example, the case we'll be going over today is the Synertech Dosagen negotiation. Using the prompt and the negotiation preparation worksheet provided by the professor, I will be negotiating from the seller's point of view, and Brittany will be negotiating from the buyer's point of view. The negotiation in this case is taking place on neutral grounds after doing a final check of the facilities. So we'll go ahead and get started on that now. Mia, thank you so much for an incredible tour of your plant. I can see why your company has done incredible things in the pharmaceutical space. With all of the success, I have to ask, why has your company decided to sell the plant? That's a very good question, Brittany. As you know, this plant is uniquely configured to optimize manufacturing genetically engineered compounds. And with multiple buyers on the market, we feel it would be best to build our cash reserves. I'm sure you can understand that. I can definitely understand that, and that's very interesting. I can see here that not too long ago, your plant was appraised for 19 million. With the market down 5%, how much is your facility's estimated worth today?
The 19 million appraisal doesn't take into account the facility's unique attributes, high quality structure, FDA approval, and most importantly, the experienced workforce. It's the people at the end of the day. And you can immediately start manufacturing, ideally now. So the real value of this plant is in the 25 to 27 million range.
Well, with all things considered, I'd like to make a deal and take the plant off your hands with an all cash bid at 19 million. By solidifying the contract now, we can get the funds to you by the end of today and 19 million added to your cash revenues. How does that sound for you?
We appreciate the offer, but to take into consideration the plant down the street sold for 26 million. 19 million is simply buying the bones and the structure of the building, not including the equipment and the workforce. Understanding the value of time, value money, you save a lot of time and a lot of money purchasing this plant for at least 25 million cash.
Well, I'd like to reconsider your counter price. As of now, we have a new plant ready to be built, less than 10 miles from our corporate headquarters. In total, for a brand new facility, we're looking at a total cost of 25 million, exactly what you're asking for. But for us to take on your facility, we would have to consider the fact that transportation costs would be added to this. So this plant is 70 miles away from our nearest research and development facilities. In this case, it would cost less for us to build a brand new plant that's really in our backyard. But considering your points, we would like to renegotiate the offer at 21.5 all cash. I feel this is a win-win for both parties and we can start the process today. How does that sound for you?
To consider the plant location to your facilities, we'll settle at 22 million, closing in 60 days, and your company can instantly start making profits within 3 months. There's no need for you to wait a year to be FDA approved or those high expensive startups. I do believe in contributing back to the economy, and if that's what you guys are here to do, then we have ourselves a deal.
Well, I appreciate everything that you've mentioned, and at 22, you have yourself a deal. I'll have my assistant fax over the paperwork. It really was a pleasure doing business with Dosagen and with you as well, Mia. Thank you so much.
Likewise, look forward to this business relationship.
Okay. Relinquish control, please.
There we go. Make post. There we go.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I figured out what the feedback was. Apparently, I still had a window open on YouTube and it was feeding back and it was horrible. So, so there's no delay and no feedback. I got rid of that. And we have a question. Yes. Yes, you will. Yes, that actually should be live on YouTube, so you can go back and do that. And then also, if you want me to make the video available, I can put that on iLearn. Okay, so what we have, let's see here. So we have the Synergen Dosagen case on iLearn. So this is the basic information. This is how the cases are going to work throughout the quarter. You'll get a basic bio of what's going on in the negotiation. For this example, Dosagen Plant is located in an area with many startups and biotechs. It has a little bit of background information on the company, the employees and whatnot. And then it basically says what the negotiation is going to be. It's going to be, in this case, they're buying a plant. Okay. So it's going to be different throughout the quarter, what the different negotiations are going to be, and I will post those. And then you'll have general information, and then you'll have negotiator number one, which is the seller, or the buyer, and then negotiation number 2. Okay, so they will actually have different informations, but if you notice on the bottom, they kind of want the same thing. They want the price must be in cash, and then the deal must be done within 60 days. So there are similarities to what is going on between the buyer and the seller, but there are some other things that are going on. And when we assign you, if you're the negotiator number 1 or negotiator number 2, you can't read the other ones, because we want to make this kind of as realistic as possible. Because if you know everything that's going to happen with the other person, that's not real life. And so you won't be able to negotiate effectively, or you pretty much won't learn anything from this. Okay. So, and then at the end, okay, so you're going to have a pre-negotiation worksheet that I posted on iLearn. And I didn't get that ready. I'll pull that up in a few moments. And then you'll do an end, at the end of your negotiation, you'll fill out a little paper. You put your names down, who you were, which side you were, the outcome, were you able to make an agreement, or did you come to an impasse? You couldn't make an agreement. And if the agreement was reached, what were the terms of the agreement? So it could be, we sold it for 22 million. We did a 30-day escrow, so they had to get out in 30 days, or we did a 60-day or 90-day, whatever it is. Okay. So on the discussion board on iLearn, I put down for Brittany and Mia how I want you guys to critique their negotiation. So you have to read the Synergen Dosagen negotiation, and I want you to read both of those, and then you will know exactly from what side each of them was coming from. Okay, so remember that Brittany was the buyer and Mia was the seller, correct? Shake your head yes. Okay. All right, so let's see if I can pull this up real quick as I share all my intimate secrets in my Word documents with everybody. Here we go, negotiation planning worksheet. Okay, so at the top, you're going to have your name and what negotiation it is. This is your prep work, the issue. So what are you going to do? In this case, the issue is it's a buying and selling of a plant. Okay, so your position and your interests. Okay, so you can mark those down on the paper. The BATNA, which we haven't gotten to yet, which I will explain to you shortly. And then the issues. What do you want? What do you want to find out? What do you want to talk about? What would you like? What do you need? Okay, so these are all the things that you need to ask yourself in the beginning of a negotiation to prep yourself to make the negotiations go better for yourself. Okay. Questions about this? Okay. So what do you think so far? Comments? How is this process going now that we're about a half hour into it? Go ahead and chat, make some comments. There's 71
Not too
of,
shabby.
hey. What was the question? Jacob, you think it's going pretty well. Well, thank you, Jacob. All right, I think Brittany and Mia did an excellent job so far explaining the negotiations. Do we have questions about how you're supposed to conduct negotiations? Has everybody purchased their negotiations? Okay, I have a question. Is the negotiation planning worksheet supposed to be the same as a Synergec worksheet? It's going to be different for every negotiation that you do. So that's just a blank template. So you can use it for negotiating your dry cleaning bill. You can use it for anything that you do in real life or for this class. Okay. And you have not bought your stuff yet. You guys received the email, correct? Shake your head. Yes, you did receive the email. I know you did. Okay. So follow that link. Buy. It's like $16, I think, for all of the negotiations. It's pretty cheap. And the book, you didn't hear this from me, but I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere in PDF format. All right. When I download the worksheet file, it's the same exact file as the Synergect one. Well, that's probably because the professor didn't do it correctly. I will fix that. You can do voice or chat. I just don't want everybody to talk at one time, but go ahead if you feel free to do the voice, just unmute yourself. I gave you that up. I gave you that, so you can do that. All right.
Also, when you guys are signing into the conference Zooms for class lecture, make sure you sign in with your first and last name so you can take roll.
Oh, yes. Don't forget to do that. First and last name, because I am taking roll, because it is very important. Week 1 on the syllabus, what do we have? Getting to know yes. So that's your assignment, is getting to know that book. So do I do pop quizzes? Sure, why not? Let's do those. I even downloaded, what was that program you told me to download?
Kahoot.
Oh, Kahoots. I downloaded Kahoot so we can do that. Fun stuff. So we can have a contest, and at the end of the quarter, whoever wins gets a free coffee latte. Okay. There's no assignments due for week 1, but you need to be reading Getting to Yes, and you need to download all of the case studies. Okay. Just put in my first name. No, you need to put in at least your last name so we know who you are.
First and last, because some of you guys have the same first name.
Yeah, like the Acosta brothers. Where are you guys? I had you one before. One's left-handed and one's right-handed. I don't know why. They're twins. Okay. Had to leave. Add my first name. All right. So on to the slideshow. You ready for this? All right. Nope, that's not showing. Let's see. Share screen. Where's my slideshow? Okay. So the Synergect dosagen. All right. Okay, so distributive negotiation typically involves a single issue. For in this case, the buying and selling of what we did is a piece of property. Okay, so it's a fixed sum negotiation. One person gains is another person's loss. So if Mia gets 22,000 from the 17, it's a loss of what, 3 million or 5 million. So when you're negotiating pricing, it's one person's going to get money while the other person gains. Okay, and hold on a second while I pull out my notes. Okay. All right. Much better? Okay, so you guys can read the slides better that way. Okay. All right, almost directly conflicting interests. Each party is attempting to maximize his or her share. And it's basically simply dividing up the pie. So however they agree to do that is how they do that. Okay, so you'd argue that very few negotiations are purely distributive, that this is not a typical negotiation. Almost always an increase the value that both people gain from a negotiation or ways to expand the pie is always the best way to go. Okay, so you want to try and do a win-win negotiations whenever you can. Okay, it's playing nice, and plus you don't want to get a reputation of being a big meanie head and always making the other people cry. Okay, the BATNA is the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Okay, and then we're going to go over to the reserve price and then bargaining zone and aspirational levels. Okay, so for example, the BATNA or the best alternative or negotiated agreement is your best outside option. It is what you would do if you did not negotiate the agreement. So in the case of this case, if they didn't negotiate the agreement, the company just would have broken everything up and sold it off into pieces. So what they would have done is they would have basically estimated that they have $17 million that they would have got from selling the equipment and the land and the thing. For example, what you would do if you did not reach an agreement in the negotiation, it would be job offer, like for a job offer. So your BATNA would, for a job offer for going to work, would be either go back to school and do graduate school. That would be your best alternative, or travel for a year. That would be an example of your best alternative. Okay. So your reserve price, or what some people call reservation point, is the bottom line. It's basically the very lowest you're going to settle for. Okay. It's a point in which difference you reach a deal, the current negotiation, and you never want to go below that price. It's just, you don't simply want to make a bad deal just to make a deal. Okay. Let's see. For example, my son, he likes to fix up cars and sells cars. We had a Volkswagen Rabbit. It was an '84 convertible, white on white. It was a Wolfsburg edition. It was a very sought after car. So he had a minimum amount that he wanted that he would not sell it for. So when the lady got here, and her husband, they go, "Oh my God." She goes, "Oh my God, I want this car so bad." So not a very good poker face, but we knew right there that, they're pretty much going to get almost any price that we asked for that car. But he set a minimum price, and that's something that he would never go below. Okay. The bargaining zone is a distance between two parties' reservation prices. It's the area in which a mutually beneficial deal could be made. For example, if you're willing to buy a house for up to 200,000 and the seller is willing to sell it for 180,000, so the bargaining zone is between 180 or 200 or $20,000. Okay, so that's the definition of the bargaining zone. Okay, and your aspiration level is essentially your target price. It's where you want hope to get the negotiations. So this is best could be explained, I guess, for jobs. It's like you're getting a job and you go, well, I'm worth at least $50,000 a year. That's your aspiration, and realistically, the job might only be $40,000 a year. Okay, so if you can argue your way or negotiate your way up to 50,000, that's great. But most likely, since the job's only worth 40, you're probably going to find somewhere in between 40 and 50,000. All right. Questions so far? Okay, we good? Actually, I can't see because of my screen. Okay, so speak out if you have any questions, because I cannot see the little hand thing because I'm in full screen mode.
Actually,
Can I ask a
we have a couple of, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to relay what someone else asked. Someone else asked, is it appropriate or proper to ask someone their bottom line when negotiating? Or I assume that would be circumstantial.
Well, you can ask the person's bottom line, but I don't think they're going to give it. And if they do, they're not a very good negotiator. Because if I say, I'm not going to sell this car for less than $5,000, well, the person's going to go, okay, here's $5,000. So even though the car might be worth $5,500 or $6,000, if you put your bottom price out there right away, that's the negotiation's finished. Okay.
I mean, in that circumstance, would it be appropriate? Because like if that happened to me, I would say like, well, 4.9 thousand is the best I can do. Would that be an appropriate way to negotiate? Or because as you said, that it might not always be their true bottom dollar.
Well, you can ask what their bottom dollar is, and most likely they're not going to tell you the truth. Because for example, when my son lists a car, he'll list it for the highest possible, for the highest price that he wants. Okay, so for his aspirational level price, he'll say, okay, this is he goes, I want $6,000 for this car. And realistically, he's willing to settle for $5,000 for the car because of all the time and the work and everything you put into it. So the price, so if somebody goes, what's your best price? You're not going to say $5,000 because that's the lowest you're going to take for it. So what you would start off with saying, well, I listed it for $6,000, that would be my best price. I think that's a fair price. And then you would come back and say, well, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it, and this is wrong. This is going to cost me money to fix all this. How about, so that's how the negotiation would. You just wouldn't go, well, okay, I'll take $5,000 for it.
Okay, thank you.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
You're giving away your position. If you state your lowest possible price, you're giving away your position, and you don't want to do that in negotiations. Okay. And then there's a very good video that I posted on iLearn called Splitting the Difference, Never Split the Difference. And that's basically kind of the question that you asked is, this is the price you're asking for. This is the lowest price that you're willing to go. Let's split the difference. And you never do that.
Professor, somebody asked, would you mind explaining bargaining zone again, please?
The bargaining zone is the difference between what you're willing to settle for and what for the seller, they won't go any lower than 180,000 on a house. Okay, the buyer won't pay more than 200,000 for the house. So your bargaining zone is in between there, which is $20,000 between 180 and 200,000. Okay, got it, Louis?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Questions? Okay. Okay, your BATNA's greatest score of power. Okay, for example, job negotiations. Okay, so we talked about what the alternative is you either go back to school if you can't get what you're negotiating for your job, or you go travel. So if you can't get your $95,000, it might not be worth you to go to work right away. It might be say, hey, I'm going to go back to school, or I'm going to go travel a year, and then I'm going to work. Okay. So if you have an alternative job offer, for example, that would be also an example of another BATNA. Okay. All right. A good illustration is for the people who have BATNAs or those who have an alternative job offer, they get a significant higher salary. Okay. So if you do have a BATNA, you can use that in your negotiation as a power to get more money. Okay. For example, one of my other children is he's a tech. He's a high tech guy. And when he goes looking for a job, he usually has a headhunter who lines him up with 3 or 4 different jobs. So he actually gets a written offer for these jobs, and he can use that as a negotiation saying, well, this company is going to offer me 90,000 to do this job, which is actually more than what you are offering. And the job is, the same, so he can use that as a negotiation ploy. Okay. All right. So know your BATNAs. Always bring those into aggregate terms. So improve your BATNA before you negotiate. Fall in love with the 3 rule. You want your counterpart to think you have a good BATNA. The 3 rule is, let me go back to my notes. So you always have 3 backups on your 3 rule. So your backup would be for Synertech, building another plant, that would be their BATNA, which would cost them $25 million. So if they can pay for anything less than $25 million, they are doing good. Okay. And then the BATNA for Dosigen was selling off their plant for $17 million. So any money they can get more than $17 million is a good deal for them. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. So the reservation price. Okay, reservation price is your bottom line, the point at which you are indifferent to whether you achieve a negotiation or walk away. You don't want to sell underneath your reservation price just to make the deal. So, if somebody offers you a very low price, you're not going to take it because, like, for example, and they could sell the plant for 17 million if they parted it off. So if they didn't offer more than 17 million, you just walk away and say, no, thank you. And then go about selling it. It's not your ideal deal, but it's not, you're not going to lose money. Okay. Reservation price is equal to the BATNA. Other issues that you want to deal with, opportunity cost, switching cost. Ego is a big thing in negotiations. Some people don't like to lose no matter what. You got to put that aside. For example, switching cost. If you read the file, the Dosagen they were already FDA approved, and that was one of the things that would take the other company a year to do when they built the new plant. So that's a very big bargaining chip. Okay, so keep these things in mind with your reservation price. Define your reservation price before negotiating. Like for example, they said, well, we can't go under $17 million. So that would be our bottom line. Okay. And learn, if you can, if possible, learn your opponents as much as you can about them and their reservation price. Okay. All right. Never reveal your BATNA or your reservation price. That was a question we had earlier. One of the critical pieces of information negotiating in the other party's reservation point. If it becomes known to one party, the negotiator can push a reservation that is only marginally acceptable to the other party. And everybody's feelings are going to be hurt and nobody's going to be happy. As I said, we strive for a win-win situation. Okay. Only reveal your BATNA when you're nearing an impasse. So for Dosagen, they would say, $17 million, we can chop this company off and sell it, and that's it. So we're not going to take a penny less than that. And they'll say, okay, fine, we'll give you 17, but it's worth much more than that. We want at least 18. Okay, so that would be revealing your BATNA. Okay, questions? Do we have any questions, Brittany and Mia?
Actually, there's a question from one of your students that mentions, how do you bring up your BATNA for job interviews?
That you have to do research on. So Glassdoor is a very good resource. They have prices of locations and so different job markets in different cities have different prices. Glassdoor is very good about breaking down the cities and the job markets and what their cost is. And then again, your BATNA might be, am I going to go to work? Do I have 3 different jobs lined up? Or can I just go travel for a year? My brother-in-law went and traveled for a year. He went to everywhere, instead of going and taking another job. So what is your best alternative? So it can be almost anything. Any other questions? No? Okay, the bargaining zone, negotiating bargaining zone. Okay, so the reservation price, the buyer's target price, the reservation price, and what's in the middle. That is your negotiating bargaining zone. Okay, this is kind of just a little chart. Seller's reservation, buyer's reservation, and you want to stay in that zone. Yeah, Louis.
So is the reservation price only I thought reservation price was only the lowest amount that you are willing to go for.
That's your reserve price. So that's the lowest amount you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then if it depends on if you're the seller or the buyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Aspiration level. What we talked about. They actually did quite a bit of studies on the aspiration level, and they found that people who strive for their aspiration level actually made more money than the people who just focused on their BANTA. Okay, so I'm not saying that is a good way to negotiate, but that is, if you're trying to get the highest price, stay with your aspiration level. Okay. So first offers, what do you think? Should we take them or not take them? If it's exactly what we want, should we take it? As co-host, can you guys do a poll? Brittany and Mia?
It doesn't give us the option to on the bottom.
You have the option to?
Let me see if I can do it. Oops.
Everyone's saying no.
Everyone's saying no. Okay.
Someone said aim for better. I like that.
That's nice.
That's nice.
let's see. Okay, I'm going to try and see if I can add a question. Since I've never done this before, let's see if I can do an epic success or epic failure.
And while he's pulling that up, Lewis, just to reiterate what you were talking about when it came to the reservation price, if you look back, for example, to when Mia and I were, she's the seller and I was the buyer. At minimum, what she wanted to make was 17 million, because that's how much she would get for just selling everything on her own. But for me, my reservation price, I can create a plant for 25 million. So in this case, for her, she wouldn't want to go below 17 million. And I wouldn't want to pay for a plant that's above 25 million because I can get a brand new one next to me. Does that kind of clarify things?
Yeah, it was just the diagram kind of looked a little weird.
So the
Yeah.
diagram, that space in the middle is like your negotiation space. On
Yeah.
the left was the seller's reservation price, and on the right was the buyer's reservation price.
So I think the goal of that particular slide was to show you the in between of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, did everybody got the post? Only one person said yes. Okay, who is that? Okay, so no, you don't want to take the first offer no matter what, even if it's higher than what you actually, hold on a second here. Even if it is higher than what your aspirations are, you still want to take the first offer given. You always negotiate. So, and plus people's feelings are going to get hurt if you take their first offer. Okay. So concessions and persuasion. Okay. So what about, oh, this is a good one. Let's do a poll on this one. Okay, why can't I do another poll now? Okay, let's close this out. Okay, well, let's do this. I have to do these. I have to prepare these before class. Who made the first offer? How did the first offer affect the negotiations? What do you guys think about that? Let's open this up for discussion. Do you think the person who makes the first offer is the one who's going to get what they want out of the negotiation? Or do you think the person who didn't make the first offer actually has an advantage over that person?
In this case, are you referring to the Synertech?
It doesn't matter in anything, the Synertech or even like selling a car or buying a car.
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, who makes the first offer? Do they have the advantage or disadvantage? And why do you think that is? And how does it affect the negotiation?
I think it depends on what the first offer is.
Okay.
If you like make the first offer in like kind of towards your favor, but it's like close to the middle, I think you have like a slight advantage. But if the other person counters like more to their advantage, it kind of makes them like look a little bit greedy maybe, or like it's like maybe too drastic of a difference in like the counter offer.
Okay. Anybody else?
One of your students, Arlene, she mentions, I believe it is the first offer with an advantage. And then Nipun Sign says, giving the first offer shows your hand, but also allows you to set a starting point. And then V says, the first offer is a central point of negotiation. Very nice.
Okay. So yes, yes, and yes. The first offer kind of sets the tone of how the negotiation is going to go. That is very important that you do your homework and do your background work. For example, you're not going to offer, if the employer says, what do you think this job's worth? And it's worth $100,000 and you say $60,000, how do you think that's going to work? The guy's going, this guy doesn't even know anything about this job. He doesn't know it's worth $90,000 or $100,000. You're probably going to tell that person just by underbidding them that they don't know how to do this job. Okay. So yes, it is very important actually who makes the first offer. And when you, let's see, there's a high correlation between the first offer and the final price. Counter offers and later concessions behave less predictive of final price. So if you give the first offer and you know what you're talking about, you're most likely will get what you're looking for. Okay. So how should the first offer be? As high as you can go without embarrassing yourself in front of your respective party. So that was in your Getting to Yes book. So if you say you have a 1984 Volkswagen Rabbit, even though it is rebuilt it in awesome shape, but it's only worth $6,000, and the blue book says it's only worth $6,000, and you say, well, I want $10,000 for it, that's kind of not realistic. I mean, you're just going to offend people and they're just going to get mad and walk away. Okay, so only let the other party make the first offer when you have no information and when it's inappropriate to do so. For example, job negotiations. You're not going to sit down with an employer and it says, well, we'd like to bring you on board. What do you think? Well, I'm not going to do it unless it's $100,000. I'm just going to walk out right now. And, so that's kind of an inappropriate type of behavior. Okay. Okay. We just talked about immediately accepting first offers. Never do it. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Concessions and persuasions. Allow yourself room to make concessions. Don't go with first and final offer. Bilateral, not unilateral concessions. Make your concessions smaller as you approach your goal. So basically, as you get to get close to what you want or what the other ones want, your goals are going to get smaller and smaller. So instead of saying $100, it'll be $50, or when the $50 is going to be $25. So they keep getting smaller, as opposed to 1,000 to 2,000. Okay. Make your concessions smaller. Use object rational to support your argument. Again. Learn the market. So for example, is that background noise really loud to you guys? Can you hear it? No? Okay. So when you, okay, I got a question. How far from the market price is appropriate? For example, no seller could post a listing. Okay. So the market price doesn't always tell the full story. For example, in the Synergen case, they had FDA approval on that building, which would take the other company a year to get FDA approval. And so even though in the market price, they bought that building at a time where the company was going bankrupt. So the market price and actually what that building had to offer was not close to what market price was, so they could ask a lot more for market price. So the Volkswagen Rabbit that we talked about, it was completely refurbished. It looked almost brand new. So what's, even though it's worth $6,000, we got a lot more out of it. Yeah, we got a lot more for it. Okay, so market price is not always appropriate to what you're selling it for. So, but that, make your concessions, make your case. And that's what negotiations are. It's hey, we replaced this. This is leather. This is, brand new engine. We just rebuilt the engine. So it's all what you put into it and how you do it. Okay. So a similar plant sold for $26 million. So that is their aspirational price is $26 million, right? Doshin plant was appraised at $19 million, that the real estate market has declined 5% since. but that doesn't take into account for the FDA approval and all the other good stuff, okay? So the steel sheet plant was bought for 50 million not too long ago, so how could it possibly be worth that now? All right, so those are some of the examples of the arguments. Okay, let me see. All right. Okay, so I got a question from Jordan. A seller could, what is it? Could post a listing and item buyers who are interested who would send over an offer. Jordan, elaborate on that question for me.
Jordan was replying to
B?
Nell. Nell was asking, in most cases, wouldn't the seller always have to make the first offer?
No, well, you're going to list it, whether it's a building or a car, you're going to list the price on it, and what's going to be your aspirational price, right? So this is how much we would absolutely want to get out of it. So that would be, yes, you would list, the seller would always list their price first. But in other types of negotiation, you don't always want to do that. Okay, so I need to give a price. I was answering Neil's question. Okay. Okay, any other questions while I figure out how to look this up on my other computer?
You can show
'Cause I don't know why I can't look it up on my screen when I'm sharing the screen. It doesn't show me. Okay. Okay, so distributive negotiation strategies. Know your BANTA, your strengths, whenever possible. So if you're going for a job offer, you're going to have 3 different offers that you're going to use as a backup, right? Shake your head, yes. Okay. Now, know your reservation price. Do not reveal your reservation price. That is the big thing. Don't reveal it. All right. Research the other party's BANTA reservation price. So as much research as you can do on your other company, the better. For example, we know that the other company needs to be FDA approved for what they're going to do in that building. So we have the FDA approval for that building, and all our equipment, all our machines, all our employees, all FDA compliant, okay? So research the other party's BANTA, define your aspirational level and focus on that to get your best price. Make first offers whenever possible. If they make a first offer, immediately re-anchor. If the other company, if somebody does that, if they come out and make the first offer, they just blurt something out, you can re-anchor that price, because the next thing that you say is going to be what they're going to base their next pricing offer. So if they go something ridiculous like we want $30 million for this plant, and the last one sold for, what was it, 26 million, you're going to have to say, 26 million is like the highest. Okay. Your aspiration level, focus on that. Make first offer whenever possible. Watch how you are making concessions. Make sure they're logical. They're not just random. Prepare objective rationale for your arguments. Oops, I think that's it. That's everything.
Professor?
Yes, question.
If I may interject, well, actually, Leonardo has a question. He says, if the seller always sets the price, is the seller always going to have an advantage?
No, not necessarily. The price could be good, the price could be bad. For example, you go to a garage sale and you see a vintage toy, and that toy, because you deal with those all the time, that toy is worth $500, and the guy sets a price at $1. Okay, so comic books, my mom sold my comic books off, and there were some of them that were worth a lot of money, and she had no idea. So whoever sets the price doesn't always know what they're doing. And then also, like, for example, art, it's in the eye of the beholder. Is that piece of art worth $1 million to you? So that's another thing. So if they set the price, you don't always have to go with that.
And another question here, Professor, and this question's getting a lot of likes. How do you negotiate salary if you don't have any other offers?
That's a good question. Why would you not have offers? Why would you only have one offer? Who is that? Alan? All right. So Alan, so you only have one job offer? That's not good.
Who's this question?
So the banta would be, what is your banta for that? So are you going to go back to school, to graduate school, so you can get more money? When you graduate, you decide to go back into the job market? Or are you going to say, screw it, I'm going to Europe for a year and go drink and party at all the festivals? Well, not this year because of the what would your banta be? So if you're not getting any other job offers, but you know what the job is worth, right?
Mhm.
So you do that by research. So you're researching on Glassdoor, you're researching other things on the internet. You go on LinkedIn, you ask other people, they have the job pricing there.
And you could also negotiate by backing it up with facts, you know, what you offer.
Mm-hmm. So what do you bring into this? For example, my son in the computer industry, he has a lot of experience with security, so high-tech security. So he can bring that in. Not only is he doing the job that they want him to do, but he can also do high-tech security projects. He's a good project manager. So he brings in all these other things to, to the party.
You guys could also start viewing yourself as an individual, as an asset. I'm my own asset. So what skills do I bring to the table? What can I offer? When you guys are going over your guys' case studies, you guys need to identify the strengths, you know?
I think that Professor, just to reiterate, the professor put on iLearn this incredible negotiation preparation worksheet. It goes over issues and then what you perceive and then what the other person as well. So this played a crucial role in our ability to even negotiate when we went over the Synertech. I would suggest definitely taking a look at it. Some of the questions it asks is, what do you want? What do you want to find out / talk about? What would you like? What do you need? What are your alternatives? What are the strengths of your position? And what are the weaknesses of your position? And it goes from both sides. So for example, what you're looking for, Alan, and then maybe what whoever's interviewing you is looking for. Or in our case, it was, Dosagen, and then my company, the seller versus the buyer.
There's also a couple of books out there. They're sales books, but they deal a lot with the psychology of negotiation and how to meet objections and how to overcome and work together. One is spin selling, and the other one is I forget the name of it. I'll post both of the links on iLearn for you. But they're, negotiations are used a lot in selling. I've been doing it for many, many years. And the best type of selling is a win-win situation for everybody. Everybody's happy, and they're going to come back again and again and again. Okay, and like I said in the syllabus, you can negotiate your own style however you want to do it, but there's always going to be repercussions. If you're going to be a hard negotiator, a real jerk, people are not going to want to negotiate with you, and it's really going to affect you in real life, and it's also going to affect your grade in this class. Because if you go off pissing off everybody, they're going to say, no, I'm not negotiating with them. They're mean, they're a big meanie head, and I'm not gonna take it. So, but you can negotiate that way. That is a style. I worked with a guy who, he would be so annoying that they would buy from him and they would kick him out of his office. They'd say, okay, if you just shut up, I will buy whatever you're selling and just leave. So, I mean, that is a tactic. Okay. So we're out of time. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. How'd I do? How'd we do? There's little emojis. Oh, I got an applause. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to see everybody. I can answer some more questions. I got time. So if you guys have any more questions, your expectations out of this class, if you want to see something particular, I can address that. I can even make a lesson out of it if you guys want enough if I have enough questions about it. Okay.
Alan asked if you can post the lecture slides before class.
Who wrote that?
Alan,
You can deceive, you can, you can't say stuff that's not true, but you can be misleading. With sources like for like Glassdoor. No, because everybody has access to Glassdoor. So if you say that job's paying $100,000 and it's only paying $50,000, everybody can log on to Glassdoor and say, no, it's only paying $50,000. What are you talking about? All right. What else? Can you post the lecture slides before class? No, because a lot of the times I change them so frequently. But everything's on YouTube. It's live on YouTube. So, but the slides, I will post the slides after the lecture. That's not a problem. There is, what is due Wednesday? Let me look at my handy dandy calendar. Yes, you have to, the Zephyr negotiation. So you have to prepare for that. So you have to download the information from the website that I gave you, the link to in your email. Read it, learn it, love it, and learn how to negotiate it. Okay, and then on Monday, we will set up the negotiation and you guys will break out into your little rooms. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work or how successful that's going to be. So that'll be something new. And then on Wednesday, we'll debrief the negotiation. We'll say what's good, what's bad. And then also on the discussion, on the iLearn, on the discussion, we'll talk about it. So I want you guys to at least make one statement and reply to somebody else's statement.
Professor, can you resend the link because I'm trying to find it and it's not, whatever I'm clicking on, it's not really working.
It should be an email that was sent directly from the website.
Yeah, but when I go to the the website, it's like, it's nothing there. Can I get like a link that
Okay,
puts me on there?
I will look back into that later tonight. And then, did anybody else have any issues?
Yeah, I didn't receive an email at all.
Okay, did anybody receive it? Did anybody get the link, receive it, go down and download it?
I paid for it. That's all I got.
You paid for it, though. There should be a link to download it.
It wasn't.
Wasn't there?
No.
Okay, but Mevish, you did?
I didn't download it, but I paid for it too.
Did you get a file?
I didn't check.
Okay. I will look into that tonight and see what's going on with that. All right, anybody else? Questions? Okay, I did, I paid, I did, I paid, I did, I paid, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. If you guys have any other questions, you can stay in the meeting. Everybody else is just excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did send you an email specifically requesting that link, just as a FYI.
Okay, no problem. I will check my emails. I paid, but no file. Tanner, very disappointed. Just kidding. I had Tanner my last. It's pretty good. All right. So many of you, a lot of you I've had before. In JASO, I was a TA for JASO. I had you guys. A lot of you. All right. Aaron, what's up? All right. Any other questions? Brittany and Mia, do you need me for anything?
We're good.
Okay. I'm going to end the meeting, so everybody's excused. If you want to email me, feel free to email me.
Go ahead.
Professor, I think a lot of students don't have access to that link. So are you going to send just one out to everybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the website and see what's going on with it. It's something new I've never used before.
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
went down and I believe everybody was supposed to get an email. They were supposed to pay for it. And then I thought they were gonna send them a link, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So I'll go back on their website and find out.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Well,
So,
thank you, Professor.
yes.
I'm gonna email you if we can also, well, did we create a rubric or? Okay.
We'll,
Where'd you get the background?
Oh, Google.
I got my office painted, see, behind me.
Very
really nice.
nice. Very nice.
I'm not in the craft room anymore.
I like the craft room. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I bet you do.
All right.
Let's see.
All right, Professor, let us know if you need anything, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna end the meeting. Good night.
Good night.
All right, bye-bye.